Hello, Michael here, looking at Psalm 78 for our devotion. And we're looking at the English Standard Version. And this psalm is subtitled, Tell the Coming Generation. We're going to focus on verse 1 to 3 for our exposition today. Let's go ahead and read those three verses. Verse 1. Give ear, O my people, to my teaching. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings from of old. And verse 3. Things that we have heard and known, that our fathers have told us. And as we turn to the treasure of David for the exposition, let's go ahead and read verse 1 again. Give ear, O my people, to my teaching. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. Give ear, O my people, to my law. The inspired bard calls on his countrymen to give heed to his patriotic teaching. We naturally expect God's chosen nation to be first in hearkening to his voice. When God gives his truth a tongue and sends forth his messengers trained to declare his word with power, it is the least we can do to give them our ears and earnest obedience of our hearts. Shall God speak and his children refuse to hear? His teaching has all the force of law. Let us yield both ear and heart to it. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. Give earnest attention. Bow your stiff necks. Lean forward to catch every syllable. We are at this day, as readers of the sacred records, bound to study them deeply, exploring their meaning and laboring to practice their teaching. As the officer of an army commences his drill by calling for attention, even so every trained soldier of Christ is called upon to give ear to his words. Men lend their ears to music. How much more, then, should they listen to the harmonies of the gospel? They sit enthralled in the presence of an orator. How much rather should they yield to the eloquence of heaven? And verse 2 that reads, I will open my mouth. In a parable I will utter dark sayings from of old. I will open my mouth in a parable. Analogies are not only to be imagined, but are intended by God to be traced between the story of Israel and the lives of believers. Israel was ordained to be a type. The tribes and their marchings are living allegories, traced by the hand of an all-wise providence. Unspiritual persons may sneer about fancies and mysticism, but Paul spake well when he said, which things are an allegory? And Aesop, in the present case, spake to the point when he called his narrative a parable. That such was his meaning is clear from the quotation. All these things spake Jesus unto the multitude in parables. And without a parable spoke he not unto them, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables. I'll utter things which have been kept secret from the foundations of the world. Matthew 13, 34 to 35. I will utter dark sayings of old, enigmas of antiquity, riddles of yore. The mind of the poet-prophet was so full of ancient lore that he poured it forth in copious streams of song, while beneath the gushing flood lay pearls and gems of spiritual truth, capable of enriching those who could dive into the depths and bring them up. The letter of this song is precious, but the inner sense is beyond all price. Whereas the first verse called for attention, the second justifies the demand by hinting that the outer sense conceals an inner and hidden meaning, which only the thoughtful will be able to perceive. In verse 3, things that we have heard and known, that our fathers have told us, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. Tradition was of the utmost service to the people of God in the olden times, before the more sure word of prophecy had become complete and generally accessible. The receipt of truth from the lips of others laid the instructed believers under solemn obligations to pass on the truth to the next generation. Truth, endeared to us by its fond associations with godly parents and venerable friends, deserves of us our best exertions to preserve and propagate it. Our fathers told us. We hear them, and we know personally what they taught. It remains for us in our turn to hand it on. Blessed be God, we have now the less mutable testimony of written revelation. But this by no means lessens our obligation to instruct our children in divine truth by words of mouth. Rather, with such a gracious help, we ought to teach them far more fully the things of God. Dr. Doddridge owed much to the Dutch titles and his mother's explanations of the Bible's narratives. The more of parental teaching, the better. Ministers and Sabbath school teachers were never meant to be substitute for mother's tears and father's prayers. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Trust you enjoyed the meditation, the exposition. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be